country that we call our own in terms of the beauty of it, the stories within it. But the thing we don't have are the resources to truly ignite everything we already have. The film we did together, Queen of Cartway, that film was made by Disney. And so that was American money, to Blessing's point about we don't have to be going to them, we don't have to be relying on them to tell our stories. But the problem we have is we're not like France, whereby you have a government subsidized industry. We're not like Hollywood, where you have studios that have deep pockets in order to be able to fund those movies. We're not like the UK or Europe or even Asia that have these places that are synonymous with production value, and that's the value proposition you get out of those places. So the question I have for us, and the question I have for you, is where do you think the resources should come from in order to be able to support filmmakers like Blessing who want to make films locally for a global audience? You talked about having friends who have deep pockets who would put money into these things. I've talked to banks here in Nigeria, and I'm going to be very honest here. I have banks who come to me and talk to me about wanting to resource the film industry, but the minute you actually get into actual conversations with them, they disappear.
100%.
Yeah, so we have everything we need, but we don't have the resources or the mechanisms yet. And I just wondered for you guys, considering what you've achieved with Afrobeat, you said it yourself, Asa, earlier about 10, 15 years ago, we're not having this discussion. So what you guys have achieved is inspiration for the film industry and how it can become global, but we're not there yet in terms of resources. So I just wondered if you have any thoughts as to where that could come from.
I think it's a mixture. Perfect example is this tour we're doing in Nigeria now. I was talking to Joey about it earlier. The business model we're using for the tour can only work with like corporate money and brands. When I had the idea of, yo, David, let's try to do this tour in Nigeria, David said one thing to me: I'm only doing it on one condition. Setup has to be the same, sound has to be the same, and I'm good. So I did a recce, had my team go out for 4 or 5 months. My wife's in the crowd here, she witnessed me fighting with people in Jigawa and Kaduna everywhere. Because the one thing for David was, has to be the same everywhere. Did the recce, did everything. Bro, each show, without going into figures, is, in some scenarios, it's basically David's booking fee for a headline festival slot. Even if I'm selling 10,000 tickets at 5,000 naira, I'm not even coming close to it. But I'm able to pull it off because we maintain relationships with so many brands. I say to people all the time, look at the flyer. There's no brand on the flyer for our tour that we haven't been working with or we haven't worked with in the past. And I just decided that, I'll start saying again, like the thief you know is better than the thief you don't know. So I literally just keep it in-house. All the brands we work with are the brands we've done. And I've been planning this for a year. So no one had the excuse of saying to me, oh, you came to us late. One brand did that after wasting all my time. And I'm gonna get them back next year when we announce the next tour. And I'm gonna be paid like triple. But other than that, it's one of those kind of things where there's certain companies that a few of us know, like David mentioned, there are certain individuals that want to be a part of it. I know it's one thing to have a conversation here, and then the conversation after is another whole ball game. But I do believe that all of us combined could figure out a way where we can find those 5 to 10 people who are willing to like dip in the pond and like see the experience. I know a few of my friends who have actually privately invested in Nigerian movies and are still doing it because of what they gain from them. So the model is there. It's just how we can expand it. So I think between all of us here, figuring out how we can get to those few brands, few individuals, few boards or companies that make it pop. I think that's the only way as of now. The thing with Nigeria is that most brands in Nigeria, their marketing teams actually don't know what they're doing. So they're gonna wait till the movie's popping and be like, oh my God, David, if I had known that I'd give you this. It happens all the time. That's what's happening with us on the tour. We're literally having brands that we're chasing up with, calling now, oh, how can I be a part of Just the Ibadan show? And I'm like, no, you can't, because when I came to you 6 months ago, you told me you weren't going to do it. So it's a bit of both, but I do think if we continue pushing, we'll eventually get there. Resilience is key, like I said. The perfect example of resilience is the two of us sitting down here, even Dami, because we're not meant to be here. Not that our parents didn't support us, but they didn't want us to be here. We're literally listening and said, this is what we're going to do, and look at today. God's blessed us. So I think we just have to do the same thing with movies.
Okay, thank you very much, Lisa. Please a round of applause for the panelists, Danny, Blessing, David, Isa, you guys have been amazing. And then another round of applause for yourselves.
Yes. Of course.
Okay, more questions.
What's that Russian?
Okay, more questions. If you have questions, please raise your hand up and the mic will get to you.
Okay,
Your question,
so,
please.
I am a young creative. I'm in content space also. I'm a graphic designer as well as a web developer. Trying to grow in the creative industry. So like, what advice would you give to someone like me who is trying to turn skills into something bigger, even with limited resources?
God will bless you with resources. As you bless you, and I will bless you with resources.
Thank you so much.
Just believe in yourself, definitely. You guys are laughing. Money is not everything. But just believe in yourself, stay at it. I can tell you love what you do. And just keep believing. When God says it's time, it's time.
Yeah.
You believe in God now. That's all you need. It's some small money.
Okay, question number 2. Your name and your question, please.
North, and I have this notion of perception of people from the north. Okay, therefore it's a privilege and an opportunity for me to be here, and I all believe that we have all creative minds. So my question here is, what advice as creative minds, both the artists, the music artists, and the filmmakers, can we say in order for people of North to understand, because what they are saying there, that we are deviating from the African stories, we are adapting other cultures from another countries, applying it to our own countries, which is against our culture. So the question here is, what can we say concerning the costume that they are kicking?
Listen on you, bro.
Concerning the costume that we are using in film industry and the music industry, in order to make them understand that we are really telling the Nigerian stories, not other countries' stories.
Okay. So if I just to get more clarity on your questions, you're asking about sticking to authenticity locally, right? Okay, with all the elements from all our local elements. Okay. So the question literally is, how can we make sure we are very coherent with them when telling Nigerian or Nigerian stories, to pick all our elements locally and to celebrate those?
To be honest, I would say every market would always have their local stories, and every market will always have those stories that have been influenced by the Western culture. So it's a thing where there are people still telling stories and still keeping it culturally grounded, but those movies maybe are not being shot well, or they're not being produced well, or directed or whatnot. But these movies still exist. People still want to tell stories, but they just have the resources to take it to the high scale they want to take it to. Like also another thing is even me apart from I made a short film, right? And that short film is called I Hate It Here, by the way, and I made sure that it was culturally grounded in the costume, right? In the costume, in in the script, in the nuances in the film, and these things still, a lot of filmmakers still want to keep the local elements in these movies, but we can't shy away from the fact that a lot of our culture has evolved and will still be influenced by the Western culture. Like there's really no end to it, but we can just do what we can as filmmakers to blend it together.
Can I add something?
Yeah, sure. There's the music component.
Even like how when people say, oh, because I'm from here, it holds me back and stuff like that. Am I an experience that moved from just to Lagos to pop? I know that the biggest things in the north. It's the same way like a rapper will move to Atlanta to pop, and an actor will move to LA to chase his dreams. Like if you believe where you are at is like holding you back, move to Lagos, pop off in Lagos, and watch the people you are complaining about literally come and like be like, oh, he's from here, he's from here, he's from here. It's like that Nigerian, there's some house that's song popping on TikTok now. It's a perfect example. Watch that guy get bookings all over Nigeria this Christmas. Sometimes it's literally economic supply and demand. Sometimes you actually need to leave your comfort zone, do a little bit of work and go back. When last you see Jesse Jackson in Lagos? Simple.
I had to go to Just to find him.
Boom. Yeah. But he's done the groundwork, like everyone knows who he is.
But I don't even understand what he was really asking.
Leave that one for now. Should be okay, Abby.
Okay.
He's pointing. What I don't understand.
How far?
You don't want people. Is there a Hollywood outfit or something that people should wear in Hollywood names?
Yes. What I'm trying to say is, people from Kaduna and Jos, somebody made mention of someone in Jos there. So there are 85 people that are in Jos there. But the viewers, which are the audience, because I'm from East, yeah. So what they are saying is that the costume that we are using in our modern generation of filmmaking is against our culture.
Is your film an epic or something?
Not really epic.
Because the costume of a film is determined by the story and the characters you've written, right? That's what determines if that's what determines what they're going to wear in the film, yeah?
Okay, thank you. So we still have the panelists around.
Actually, well done with that. But my question is for you. I want. It is really difficult to get songs in. No, but it's stressful.
I didn't realize how much of an issue this thing is in Hollywood.
It is a big issue. And thinking, I want you to, like you mentioned that for you guys, you can watch a project and you like it and you say, okay. But there are filmmakers that don't have access to get you that project to watch, to say, okay, this will be good for my project.
Yeah.
Those kind of filmmakers, how do they go about putting the film? Like, are you interested in collaboration with films that you are not involved in from the beginning? And how can that kind of filmmaker get those projects to your table?
First things first, one disclaimer. We rise by lifting others individual, not inside.
There was a reason I didn't direct the question to this.
Second of all, I think like, even with your question, I feel sometimes it's one of those kind of things where you just bring prepared and opportunities presenting themselves to you, because I'm not going to sit down here and lie and be like, oh, I'm going to watch 50 years this year and support 3. I'm probably not going to do that. But I do believe that obviously you guys know, do you remember Industry Night?
Yes.
When I was coming up in music, I literally used to live at Industry Nights. And anybody who was like an OG or like a top person then just knew the yellow kid and the big afro that was Obi's nephew. And that's how I built like all my relationships and stuff like that. So I don't know what the film version.
So what's the because this is not a film thing.
Yeah.
This is the music thing.
I'm getting somewhere, I'm not done there. I don't know what the film version of that is, but I do feel as if we have events, like I don't work in film, like I've been dragged into film based off of my involvement and success in music. I do believe if we have events or like actual bodies, because there's no way even you, as successful you are in the film industry, is going to be able to contact every single person. But you guys literally need a plug who can literally go and talk to all these people on behalf of you. Like I believe in like building and investing Nollywood, but I can't do it by myself. Like I could probably clear 1 or 2 songs for any year. How many songs do you actually need in a movie? I think it's maybe a thing of you guys figuring out like a structure with someone who actually has the relationships, who can speak on behalf of the industry to certain people. You know how many publishing groups we have on WhatsApp that all of us are in that? They're doing nonsense in the groups, they're not doing anything. And it's the thing about it is like, I feel this is me speaking as myself, because obviously I am, because I'm his manager, I'm put in awkward positions where people expect me to do a million things I can't do. And then when I end up telling people no, I'm a bad person. But think about it, I've signed a publishing deal on his behalf. They've paid him a big amount of money. There's only so many times I can email them and be like, yo, this is something I believe in, let's let it slide. There's only so many times I can do that. And unfortunately for the music industry, a lot of people get into these deals because stuff isn't popping back at home for them. So if they get one viral song and Sony ACP is offering them 500K for their publishing, of course they're going to take it. What that now means is they don't have control over their music. It's like what you're complaining about when you had to take out that Umali song. He probably has a publishing deal where he's been paid a lot of money and he actually doesn't have control of what the music can be used for. So it's not as if like musicians or people who work in music are trying to be difficult. They put their legs in some things where they no longer have sole control. Independent artists obviously is a completely different conversation because they own everything, they can do everything themselves. So I think the first step is us figuring out a system where someone from you guys can speak to us music guys, where it's not like you guys are attacking us. Because that's what happens a lot. Like everyone carries that. No, I'm not saying you're doing it, but people take the energy. Yeah, people take the energy from. No, I get that. Music is frustrating too. It looks good right now, but it took I know how many years it took us to get where we are. But like, I feel sometimes where somebody might have a bad relationship playing music with Mr. X, and then get my phone number, and then boom, he attacking me like I'm Mr. X. I'm like, yo, calm down. We haven't had a conversation. And I think that's the perception a lot of music people have of like the whole Nollywood thing. So once they just hear the whole yo, they're like, nah, leave me alone. So I think we need to work on like the manner of approach and like the channels in which it's being done, and we'll probably see a difference.
Because I think that's when that this.
No, of course I want like think about it, like Nigerian movies are on Netflix going #1 in different parts of the world. Of course I want David music to be in those things. Like it's common sense. Why should a Nigerian movie that's doing amazingly well be scoring music from somewhere else when there's so many successful artists from our own country? But it's easier said than done. There's so many dynamics to it.
So, Blessing had something to say. Oh, after you.
So, Uche did the project. She brought it to me, the project, and she brought the project to me, and I had to look through the project. And it turns out there was a Davido music in this project. So,
let's be specific about what song, because some songs are different from others. We own some of the songs, we don't own all the songs.
I can't remember the song, but he mentioned that he did something with Nariganda. So I said to her, this would be a problem if I send it out to the distributor. And so we had to call Larry, and Larry said, okay, he's good for clarity. Does that happen? Okay.
Yeah. Like he said, like independent artists and artists that own, like someone as big as me should be able to call, but like this I said, not every time. Like obviously they make exceptions all the time. Yeah, as well. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Blessing, thank you. Blessing, you have something to say?
In Los Angeles, I also have a streaming platform called Manson. We can do distribution, okay? Well, I was talking to someone about Africs and back have come to me, and then I don't know where they went. And I'm just being honest with you. And I said to the guy on the Zoom, I was like, I don't have time to talk to you, and if be nonsense. And I haven't had any proof that it isn't that. I've heard about you. You've met with my company. I know you to be incredibly talented. You know, I saw a film last night that premiered here, which shows me that we are so close to being truly global in terms of our storytelling. All you need, if that film was made for $1 million, all you need is $10 million, deploy $1 million each to filmmakers like Blessing, have 10 movies. So that's how you have a diversified portfolio of films. You go to someone like Kene, who has Film One, who can distribute these movies. You go to MultiChoice, you go to these other places that there's real distribution. If AFRIFF Bank, if the people you know, if there's distribution, if we can come up with $10 million, I'm telling you right now, I will dedicate myself to putting pressure on those scripts so that they are truly world class. But we need those resources. So Chioma, I'm saying to you, Ken, if we can go as a collective and put pressure on these people and say, okay, bring this amount of money, we will match it. You know, if AFRIFF gives us $5 million and we say, what's PAC? Pan-African Capital, then we can match that. When you have $5 million, it's way easier to get another $5 million. So I'm just saying that right here, now. AFRIFF Bank, if you're here, everyone knows, 2 Davidos. We will do it. We can do it. So thank you for that not so cohesive question, but let's do something cohesive.
Fantastic. Would you like to say a few words before we wrap up? All right, fantastic. Thank you so much. This has been great, Joey. Fantastic conversation. Can we just, I think we're all done, right? Fantastic.
What the 2 days have done is really set the tone. Thank you very much. Day number 3 tomorrow, AMCF. We'll see you tomorrow. Standing room only today. Thank you so much for today. Thank you everyone that came. Get home safely. We'll see you tomorrow.